Today, the ASICS Gel Cumulus 21s.
Welcome to another edition of Steve the Beard Reviews. Here we have the ASICS Gel Cumulus 21s, and this is what I'm going to be reviewing today.
Welcome!
Quick overview: ASICS, the brand name; Gel, because they've got gel in the sole, in the front and the rear; Cumulus,
because they're like running on little clouds.
and 21 because they're the 21st edition of the shoe. I have actually ran in the Cumulus now for probably about 4 years. 19s, the 20s, now onto the 21. Some very quick points on the 21. There is a 10mm heel to toe drop. These are the lightest of the editions of them. So as always, when the brands are bringing out a new shoe, they always go with a lighter shoe. The 19s were 352 grams, the 20s were 329 grams, and the 21s 323 grams, and they are a size 10.5 for every shoe that I bought. The main use for these is the road, the treadmill. I wouldn't use these on a trail. They're definitely not a trail shoe. They are an all-rounder road shoe. The sole that they have in these is comprised of two things. It's got the FlyteFoam, which is basically
Light foam.
and then you have got the gel. You have got it in both the front and the rear, with a lot more in the rear of the shoe. With the FlyteFoam and the gel combining, you do get a very smooth, soft ride. And actually, out of the more recent model, these are definitely the best. Even though they do deliver a soft ride, they're not too squishy. So they're about in the middle of where they should be. They're not too hard, not too squishy. If you're looking for something a bit softer on the foot, maybe something like a Hoka is what you might be wanting to look for. The main reason for the gel is basically to take the impact when you are pounding the pavement. That gel just does soften the impact. It does add to the weight ever so slightly. Another fact about the Cumulus, they are a neutral shoe. So if you overpronate or underpronate, these aren't the shoe for you. They are for very much a neutral runner. Some key model changes that they've made over the years. The 19s, I actually really liked. The model of them was good. The feel of these is very similar as a shoe to the 21s. The only major difference, as you will see, between the two is the wider fit. They are a lot wider around here, and you did get some hot spots and chances of blisters in the 19s, whether they have eradicated that in this shoe. The differences between the 20s and the 21s, however, you'll see the wideness is actually very, very similar. The mesh upper is improved, but it's quite similar. The difference was these are such a lot harder shoe. The sole not massively different, but round here, the cushioning around the back of your heel in the 20s, and even the inlay round here, just a very, very stiff shoe. The improvements they've made around the heel make this such a better shoe. It's not as stiff, which I think you want stiffness, but you don't want it too stiff that it actually feels like you can't get that move in the shoe. These just about kind of balance that out. The heel really is where it really sells it to me. I even go so far to say that they remind me of a Nimbus. Round here, they do really remind me of the Nimbus. Nimbus, if you don't know, are ASICS's top leading shoe, but I do feel that these are not too far behind them.
Except for the price point.
Points about the mesh upper. I think a lot of the brand manufacturers in the road shoes are going for this mesh. It is very nice, it's very light, it's very breathable. It's quite wide round the front, but you can actually get a wider fitting one as well, which, to be fair, for me, I mean, I've got particularly wide feet, but I think it's very helpful if you are running in these up to marathon distance. You've got that room to breathe. With the mesh as well, it is seamless all the way around the shoe, so you're not getting any of those hot spots. No real rub on the feet as well, to reduce the impact of
Blisters. Nobody likes blisters. No.
Nobody likes blisters.
This shoe, I would say, is a good all-round shoe. Anything from just a general everyday running all the way up to marathon level. However, I wouldn't say it's the speediest of shoes. If you run under 7-minute mile pace, these probably are not really the shoe for you. Maybe on a little bit the heavier side, but they're not a speed shoe, but they're a good all-round shoe. Coming on to the quality, again, the build quality for ASICS, you can't really fault it. The seams, even looking at these previous models, the wear is just very, very minimal. I do tend to raise my toes up on the seam here, and on these you couldn't tell at all, and I've done over 500 miles in these. However, when we look at a thing like the Solomon, you can even see with these, I have worn that away, and I think I've done probably only about 200 miles in these. The sole is very similar, again, with the difference between the 20s and the 21s. However, I am noticing that these have worn quite quickly. Like I say, I'm up to about 200 miles in these. I've done way over 500 miles in these, and the wear isn't too dissimilar. One other massive improvement, but it's minimal.
Calm down.
Is the laces. The laces in the 20s were almost just standard laces and kind of felt like ASICS didn't even give them a second thought. Now, with the 21s, they're almost circular and they've got little ridges on them. Not gonna be able to pick it up on the camera, but when you lace them up, it's almost like it grips. You can actually run in them with just a single knot. And there's not any of the shoes, except for the Solomons, which have got the pulley system. This is the first trainer that I've ever worn, say up to a marathon distance, where I've not double knocked them, and I don't double knock them at all. And I think it's just subtle changes like that, which ASICS need to be applauded for in this shoe. Price point for these, they are retailing about £120. I think you can get them for about 100 if you shop around. I would compare them to like the Nike Pegasus, the Saucony Ride ISOs, and the Brooks Ghost. So if you wear any of those shoes, I would definitely give these a try. The Cumulus for me are just a good all-round shoe, everyday shoe. If you're new to running as well, I think a shoe like this, okay, they might be slightly on the higher price point, but they will last you and they are a good running shoe.
So just to recap on the pros and the cons.
Let me just finish this bit.
Your rubbish videoing when you didn't tell me in the first place. No.
Nice, softer feel, roomy around the front, better cushioning, slightly better quality, improved heel, a good all-round shoe, and I would say
Say an enjoyable place to be.
when I put these on, they do just put a smile on my face. And I would say that out of the Nike, Saucony and Brooks, I would say that these are best in class. The cons to these, they could be lighter compared to the other brands. I feel that with the gel, it does just add that little bit of extra weight. If it was all foam, okay, you're not going to get as much impact taken away, but they would be slightly lighter and maybe
Slightly quicker.
not as smooth as other rivals. And the only other point that concerns me at the minute is just a little bit of sole wear. Not seen that in previous models, and they don't look very different to previous models in the terms of the way that they've actually done it, but there does seem to be a slight earlier cases of sole wear in these. However, as a shoe, ASICS say you'll get easily 400 miles out of a standard shoe. As it stands in both of these, I've got over 500 before I felt like I actually needed to start looking at replacement. So just to finalise, I feel that if you are looking for an all-round shoe,
These may be the shoe for you.